Hello, my name is Anssi. I'm the owner and president and managing director of Amphion Loudspeakers from Finland. And I'm here at musikmesse to tell something about our products. Amphion is a 16-year-old company. We originally come from the hi-fi side. 5 years ago we started developing products for the pro industry and launched the products a little over a year ago at NAMM, and the reception has been totally overwhelming. What we're trying to do is to create a large clean window to the music. We actually believe that the loudspeaker's job is to create the original signal as faithfully and as possible without adding anything to it. A lot of the things in the music making industry have changed, and in many ways, funnily enough, we've gone closer to that area where we have, or that world where we have always lived in. We don't have the budgets to build the rooms around the speakers anymore. Speakers have to work in various type of rooms, in treated, non-treated rooms, and I believe the way to do it is to control your dispersion. And that's what we do with the waveguide. A traditional monitor development has been very focused on measuring what happens on axis, what happens in the sweet spot. But unfortunately, I think the industry has forgotten that whatever we do, we're always listening to sum of reflections, never only to the direct sound. Therefore, it's very important to make sure that your off-axis responses and your first reflections are always also healthy. Also, one of the things as a speaker guy I never understood is that everybody knows that point source is the only correct way of reproducing sound. So why don't we make our loudspeakers point sources? And these are actually point sources even if they don't look like that, because with the help of the waveguide we actually lower the crossover point to 1600 Hertz, which means that at the crossover point the length of the sound wave starts being longer than the distance between the drivers. So your ear cannot localize two different drivers anymore, but senses this two driver combination as one unit, having an acoustic center point in the middle. Also, with the help of the waveguide, we bring the tweeter back so that the drivers are acoustically aligned already. So because we believe that whatever we achieve acoustically, we don't have to try to fix electrically, and whatever you can get out from the signal chain actually improves resolution. Another thing which is very important to notice is that why does the crossover have to be at 1600 Hertz? The funny thing about this this super focus on measurements only is the fact that we tend to forget that the human hearing is not linear. There's actually a very precise area from 2000 to 5000 Hertz. And if you talk to a chair manufacturer, nobody will put a seam in the cushion in that area where everybody can see it. So why do we put the seam in the loudspeaker where everybody can hear it, normally between 2Ks to 3500 Hertz? It doesn't make any sense if you ask me. And that's why it needs to be at 1006, because it's kind of, if we take this chair analogy again, it's kind of like the seam is hidden to the side where you cannot hear it anymore. Another thing which I think especially is important or interesting for the Japanese market is that because we push the acoustic design and keep the products electrically very simple, the performance is similar and all the information is present also at low listening volumes. So you don't have to, like many other speakers, play them at very high volume to get that information. Another nice byproduct of using the tweeter where your ear is at its most sensitive is that you actually get very, very good imaging, both in terms of X and Y and Z planes, also in depth. And this is very important for modern mixers, because unless you have a way to layer the information very, very quickly, you get in a situation where everything is in a kind of clump in the middle between the speakers, and then when you listen to it on a what I called a low or no-fi device, you actually get into all sort of problems. And one of the real building blocks of this whole lineup, and why it took that 5 years, was that we really kind of reversed engineered thing from end results backwards, looking at translation all the time, and how do we achieve that also, not only in the traditional car radio play boombox, but also in iPhones and flat screen TVs and all these kind of modern playback devices what people use today. And funnily enough, if we get the mid-range integration right, because naturally all of these playback devices have a mid-range, it's surprising how well actually the basic information gets translated also in very basic playback devices.